Welcome back to round two. Yes, I want to play first. And no, I don't have to get rid of that. Still gives me the Guild Gate turn 1, Guild Mage turn 2. I really wish that I had some creature I could sack things to. It'll be interesting to see in block whether you get something. I mean, there's the whatever ooze as a possibility, but there aren't a whole lot of creatures, and normally there's maybe not in abundance, but there's some creatures out there that you can sack your stolen goods to. Here, definitely going on the aggressive plan. Seeing that he's playing Selesnya. It's gonna mean that if he can get into the late game, his populate strategy can be pretty good. If he does sacrifice this and try to block that, which looks like that's what he's gonna do. I don't love losing that creature. I do love him losing his token early, because that's really going to get him off his strategy. If he doesn't have a centaur token to populate off of. And, you know, I'm reading a lot into his deck without actually seeing what his deck can do, so who knows. Maybe I'm wrong, but my guess is that's going to slow him down. Okay, so he did that. And now he's getting 2/2s instead of 3/3s, if he gets to start copying. There's that. Go ahead and give me Jailbreaker. One of the things I like here is if he should get some, you know, huge threat, the Traitorous Instincts just waiting. And that guy actually gets pretty big there. If he attacks, I'd be willing to trade. If not, I'm going to attack him. Yeah, if I was him, I probably would have waited. Because now I'm going to get an attack with the Dead Reveler that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Because I wouldn't have sent both. And go ahead and suit up the Jailbreaker. He is one land away from a Tristani's Judgment, if he happens to be holding that, which always tends to be a huge blowout that just sucks. Playing blue too. I definitely don't fear a Keyrin. Okay, so if I went this route, and then attack with both, if he double blocks, I still could do Electrickery. If he double blocks on that, if he double blocks on this, it'll be a trade anyway. And it's 2 for 2, essentially. Getting a lobber crew out there means even if I can't attack him, well, I guess it means if nothing else I can trade with his security blockade. But the bigger picture is if he puts out a single creature, Trader's Instinct, probably for the win. If it goes for multiple creatures, makes it a little bit tougher. But where he has it right now, looks like I might be able to win. And does he concede? Not yet, so maybe there's something more to it. Nope. What do you got there? Good. That actually was easier than our round one. So let's see. Didn't see the Guild Mage, but got the feeling it might be there. I'd be willing to trade out the Strike for the Python Needle just in case. And no, we don't have to mulligan. I would like a little bit more action out of my hand if I could have, and that helps. He's attacking me with a good bear. And coming up with Flying Threat. Would have been nice if I had gotten that last turn. Let's go ahead and man up the Thug. I'll get in for 4. Next turn, I'll have to see what he plays, but potentially I'm getting in for 3 and shoring up my defenses a little bit. Yeah, probably with this, I'm better off playing that and leaving it up so I can bump him to a 2-3. Might stop him from attacking with a couple of those guys. The Shambler isn't going to give me the value that I maybe would want, since he's not going to have any swaps, but okay. Go ahead and block there. See what he brings. Giant growth, maybe. Well, there we go. Isn't that fun? So he's just rolling me. Let's see, what do I have for answers for a flying creature, if any? I have... I think about the best I have is Trader's Instinct, which is nothing. Okay. So I cannot win this one. I have Explosive Impact. I guess that's a answer to flight. Do you have any other answers to flight? No. I mean, really, I have to be winning the war. I could get a little extra value out of the Batterhorn potentially. But yes, I'll play first. That's a hand I like to see. Now the Weird versus the Roustabout for first play. Can kind of justify either one actually. What I like about the Weird is that sometimes you can get him to make bad blocking decisions because of the threat of damage. As this turned out, drew into a 3-drop that I want to play. So it didn't really have any impact on that. But I'm curving fairly well with this now, even if he gets third land. If he intends to use it to make a 3-3, either one of my creatures could trade and or upsell on that 3-3. He may just chump and then sack in response. Yep. And since I can do both those other cards next turn, I want to make sure to get this one out this turn. It gives me 2 blockers who are better than his 1 defender, and or 2 attackers that are better than his 1 defender, and 1 attacker that could be, that's at least a threat to do something more. And that, don't need it right now. But it's still interesting as a potential power through at the end of the game. So go ahead and get this guy big, this guy big, or as big as I get. And that's a pretty impressive lineup of attackers. If he had blue, I guess he could go Supreme Verdict and just eat my lunch completely. If he plays a key rune, I could blow that up pretty well with the Rakdos Drone, since I do know that he has one somewhere. If he gets a really big creature, it can slow me down. That creature will not slow me down. And I could use the Piling Needle on it. Maybe what I end up doing. Okay, so we have to regenerate, and I have to pay that to kill him. And I could clear his graveyard, but if he uses his whole turn to do that, then basically I win anyway. If I forced him, I mean, I could do it, but I think I'd rather see what he plays. Because if he played like a guild mage, I wouldn't really care about the ooze so much. And if he puts himself in a situation where there are enough creatures that I can use the Rakdos Charm now, I'm not against that either. What I like is that he's probably not going to see it coming, and so I can kind of do all-out attacks, or at least fairly dedicated attacks, and get as much as I can. So what does he block? Blocking those two, okay. And then we'll sack throw that guy. Gets him down to 2. Or gets him down to 3. Probably 3. Yeah. So then he plays a single guy. I should be able to get through for one of them. And then play that. Let's see if he has an answer to this. And he didn't. Good. It was kind of unnecessary. I could have ruled that out and looked for it, and I guess the next turn I would have burned him, burned his face anyway. Well, finals. Let it be.